Good morning, everyone. My name's Ralph, and I'm going to do the introduction for the great John Dalton. With over 28 years of experience in medical staffing, executive and physician recruitment, and national sales leadership, John Dalton has built a distinguished career at the intersection of healthcare and business development. His professional journey began in healthcare recruiting before expanding into sales management and national training initiatives, where he cultivated a reputation driving growth and operational excellence. Today, as the founder of his own organization, John has come full circle, integrating his deep expertise in recruiting, staffing, and sales consulting to help companies strengthen their teams and achieve sustainable success. John's strategic insight and proven sales methodologies have elevated numerous local, regional, and national healthcare organizations to a new level of performance and recognition. Immersed in the dynamic healthcare landscape of Southeast Florida, John is regarded by his peers and clients alike as a trusted authority on both healthcare operations and sales strategy. What truly sets John apart is his innate ability to connect with people and to connect the right people. Guided by intuition and long-term vision, John identifies opportunities, crafts solutions that address those challenges often before they're recognized. A passionate mentor and motivator, John believes the success is best measured by the success of those he helps. John's leadership philosophy centers on service, integrity, and empowerment, a mindset that continues to inspire others both professionally and personally. And when he's not mentoring and strategizing, John says he's often found on the water chasing that big catch. John Dalton.
Thank you so much, Ralph. I really appreciate it. So by show of hands, how many people have been in one of my sessions before? So we got a couple people here. So what I want to really stress for you is this session is going to be different from a lot of the sessions you've been in today and over the week, who have all been fabulous. But this session is based on results and actionable tools that you can take back to your organization. I've had the opportunity to listen to a lot of the other folks that were presenting, and they were all fabulous. Joseph Thomas was excellent on leadership. We're going to take that leadership and we're going to go to the next level with it, and how to implement that service leadership into your sales staff. We're going to talk about the keys to building that sales staff. I do not believe in hiring existing salespeople with a book of business. Hi, my name's John Dalton. My company is Optimum RTS. I am a recruiter. Many companies come to me and say, John, we'll pay the salesperson whatever they need, just have them bring a book of business. The joke is, whatever number they tell you, expect you'll get half of that. And then be happy when you get half of that number. You can't sustain that. Referrals that come in are based on know, like, trust. We're going to talk about the metrics, the KPIs of actually getting out in the field and making sales calls. If it takes 8 to 10 calls to get someone to know, like, and trust you, and that $90,000 rep you just hired in has not produced in 6 months and has only made 5 of those calls towards the 10, and that person's no longer with your organization, that number 8 to 10 resets with the client, but now becomes 10 to 15. You hire a new rep in, and that rep is going to start to call on that location again. They're not producing, you fire that person. Now that client, potentially, sees a third rep. And what do they say? They say, you know, when you've been with the company a year, come back and talk to us. You're the third rep I've seen this year. That referral source will no longer trust your company. I like to take recent college grads, people that are coming out of real estate, people that are coming out of copier sales, someone that has a very high commission and has to work the street for money on a daily basis to make things work. That recent college grad that we can pay a $50,000 salary to, that I can now give a runway of a year to build those relationships. And we'll talk about the metrics for that. Today, we're going to put a plan in place for you. Introduction. So sales is not a coincidence. Sales is engineered. We have to put the right system in place to make our salespeople productive. Say that again. We have to put the right sales system in place to make our sales team productive. That's going to be the key. We have to have them planning their routes. We have to have them knowing where they're going. We have to have them have a purpose for where they're going. We need to have them be able to paint the picture. And we'll talk about what that specifically means. Because when you hear why failure happens for sales reps, it's ridiculous. But we've all seen it happen. And we've all had that rep come in. That does what? Builds rapport and never asks for the business. How was your weekend? Oh, you went fishing? What'd you catch? Oh, great. You're at the ball field? Your son won? Oh, that's awesome. Good for you. That's nice. Your wife, how's she doing? Is she still doing, she's doing that? Yeah, my husband's doing this and stuff. Oh, well, isn't that great? Good. Well, hey, thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week. I made a friend. Didn't build a client. Never asked for business. Successful sales call. What's your name? Yeah. What? Say it again. Hey, Eric. You and I are buddies now. It's nice. Can't wait to see you next week. Hey, you want to go fishing next weekend? Awesome. Let's do that. Let's go to, hey, want to watch F1? Let's watch F1. Right? We're not asking for the business. They're not disciplined. They're not confident in what they're doing. They cannot paint the picture. These are the things we're going to talk about today. So having our week planned out, having the week planned out has to happen every Friday afternoon, and you have it built into your salespeople's schedule. Where are you going next week? Where are you going on Monday? Where are you going on Tuesday? Where are you going on Wednesday? Where are you going on Thursday? What is my objective when we go there? What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about new diabetics. And I'm going to target endocrinologists. And I'm going to target internal medicine doctors. Okay, good. Jellyfishing. Has anyone ever heard that term in reply to salespeople? Jellyfishing. That's how salespeople market. What are you going to do today? I think I'm going to go into the Kendall area, maybe go to Baptist, maybe go to... Okay. They get in their car. They don't know where they're going. They just go to the hospital. And, oh, my friend Denise works over at the skill facility. Maybe I'll go there. And, oh, my friend is over here. And no plan. Jellyfishing around, going wherever the tide takes them. And they'll never hit key metrics if they do that. Never hit key metrics if they jellyfish. But your average rep does that. Gonna go have lunch with my other friends, a couple hours here. Gonna go to a networking meeting in the morning. Really? Networking meeting in the morning? That's great. Who's at the networking meeting? Oh, the same people that will be at the networking meeting that I'm going to at lunch. Oh, okay, good. And then what are you gonna do after work? Oh, I'm gonna go to a networking meeting with the same people that I had breakfast and lunch with. Where's the growth happening? And when you go to a networking meeting, who's in the networking meeting? Other home care agencies. So you're networking with the people you're competing against. You're smiling, right? You've seen it, right? You go to ESRN down in Broward, Elder Service Resource Network. You're one of 20 home care agencies sitting in the room. What are you going to gain there? You're not going to gain anything there. You're not going to gain anything there. I don't know why this keeps happening. I apologize. Having no general idea, no structured response. It's ineffective. It's just ineffective. We need to have our week planned out. We need to take and we need to map our territory. Map our territory. Who here has their sales reps with a mapped territory? Okay, what does a mapped territory mean?
Geographic area.
And how do you map it?
They have a finite area that they call on, and other reps have another finite area, and there are borders.
Great. Now let's take that to the next level. I ran sales teams in Palm Beach County, Broward, Dade, Wisconsin. It was all sort of the same, but let's talk about Palm Beach because it's a nice rectangle. We made a decision early on, we're going to hire 4 reps. We took Palm Beach County, we divided it into 4 territories based on east-west roads. All of the territories had the same amount of hospitals in them, a similar amount of doctor's offices, a similar amount of skills, ALs, ILs, SNFs. Then I had each one of my reps take their smaller rectangle and put an X through it. So now I had 4 quadrants in my territory. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is where I go on Monday, 2 is where I go on Tuesday, 3 is where I go on Wednesday, 4 is where I go on Thursday. Why not Friday? Friday's a cleanup day. Anything I missed, I do on Friday. Do my reports, do some other stuff on Friday. Why is this so important? If I'm working in Boca, and that's my Monday day, and at 10 a.m. I get a call because there's a referral discharge happening in Wellington, which is now Territory 4, Quadrant 4, and I have to leave here to go there to do my intake. Should your salespeople be doing intakes, meeting the patients? Absolutely. They are the salespeople. Why would you not have the salesperson not sell? That referral allows that salesperson into the hospital to meet the case managers with a reason and a purpose. After I do the intake, I look at my call plan for the week and I say, where am I supposed to be on Thursday? And I pick up my plan right there for Thursday and I start making all my Thursday calls on Monday because that's where I am now, instead of driving back to Territory 1. It's planned out. I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going, I know how I'm getting there, I know what I'm going to do there. Does that make sense? Do you see a way you could implement that into your organization? Yes. That's how we have to stay productive. Predetermine who we're going to visit and what we're going to discuss in each location. How many people are Medicare certified? How many Medicare certified? 3, okay? You have plan of cares. You have treatment plans, okay? You're doing initial intakes on the private side, and you have all the information as well. Do you know your doctors who your private care patients see on a regular basis? Probably. Do you know their specialists? Probably. On a Medicare side, do you know the patient who's signing the POT? Yes, absolutely. Do you know their other specialties? Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm going to discuss. That's one of the things I might discuss. When I'm in Wellington, I'm going to see Dr. Jose Schwartz, and I'm going to talk to him about Mrs. Garcia's wound. Or I'm going to talk about how Mrs. Garcia's, whose primary caregiver is her husband has now fallen and isn't able to care. So I'm bringing valuable information. I'm not just walking into a doctor's office. Hi, my name's John. How you doing? Optimum RTS. How's your staff? What's going on? What'd you do this weekend? Hi, can I talk to the nurse? I want to talk about Mrs. Schwartz. Something just happened in her family. Yeah, sure. Hi, John, what happened? Oh, Mrs. Schwartz, you know how her husband always brings her to the doctor's office here? Well, her husband fell, and now she can't fall. So our aide is now not just doing 4 hours, our aide is doing 12-hour a day, and you're going to see our aide bring Miss Schwartz in, and I just wanted to give you heads up. So when you talk to Mrs. Schwartz, you can go ahead and mention her husband's fall. You're bringing value to that doctor. Does that make sense? Do you see how this is starting to work together, right? It's not theory. These are actionable things that you can go ahead and do. Making the right number of calls. Sales is a numbers game. How many calls do I need to make to how many conversations of consequence? That's my term. Conversation of consequence, they change. If I'm making a first call and I learn about Eric and I learn who his discharge planner is, I had a conversation of consequence. I make my second call and I actually speak to the discharge planner or the referral coordinator, I had a conversation of consequence. I went back, I talked to that referral coordinator again, and we talked about our diabetes program. I had a conversation of consequence. I come back next week, and Eric and I talk about F1. Did it move the ball forward? Think about that. A conversation of consequence means, did it move the ball forward towards getting another referral? Just that simple. We need to continue to move that ball forward. Have those conversations of consequence. I have fat fingers today, and I apologize. Calls lead to conversations of consequence. Conversations of consequence lead to referrals. Referrals lead to sales and starts of care. You can't have a start of care if you didn't have a referral. Can't. Doesn't work that way. So the minimum calls per day for me is 15 sales calls a day. Minimum. Be careful how you word this to your salespeople, because salespeople are tricky. Tricky. I'm talking to a guy, I'm at an after hours networking event. The director of sales and business development for Activa Home Care. We're expanding all through South Florida and beyond. And hey, I'm just a fat gray-haired guy at this thing. There's a young guy there, sales. He's talking about, I always, what do you do? Oh, I'm in home care. Oh, really? Yeah, how you doing? Well, it's really tough out there. You hitting your numbers? You're getting your quota? No, I'm not hitting my quota. My boss is really on my butt. Oh, okay, good. More stories. Last week, my girlfriend, she's a PA. She works in the Ferris building, downtown Palm Beach, right on the water. And I was in my boat. And I was out behind the Ferris building. I'm texting her, hey, honey, look out at me. I'm on the phone. I'm waving at you. What time of the day was this? Oh, it's 3 o'clock. Really? What were you doing on your boat until 3 o'clock? Well, I hit my 15 sales calls, so I was done. I'm like, what do you mean you hit your 15 sales calls? He goes, well, that's my goal, is I have to hit 15 sales calls in a day. And I did it. So now I'm on my boat. Oh, let me ask, tell me again, how are you doing with your quota? Oh, I'm not hitting it. Oh, okay. So let me ask you another question. How many calls do you have to make to hit your quota? 15 sales calls a day. That's what they told me to hit. Okay. Again, how many sales calls do you need to make to hit your quota? 15. That's all I have to hit. That's what they told me. Okay. Hi, my name's John. I'm the Director of Sales and Business Development for Activa, and that is the absolute wrong answer. How many calls do you need to make to hit your quota? As many as it takes. But they said 15. Okay, good, you're not hired. Right? Thank you very much. You are now off my potential hire list. This is what our salespeople think. If you go to the hospital, Ferris Building, who knows Palm Beach at all? Anyone? A little bit. Ferris Building is right next to Good Sam Medical Center. Good Sam Medical Center is a 4-story hospital. If I go into Good Sam and I start on the 4th floor and I talk to the case managers, 4th floor, that's 1 call, that's 2 calls. I go to the 3rd floor, 3 calls, 4 calls. 2nd floor, 5 calls, 6 calls. Case management office, 7, 8 calls. I go across the street to the Ferris Building. I start on the top of that 8th floor building and I hit all the internal medicines on the way down. It's 11 o'clock and I've hit 15 calls. What do you do for the rest of the day? My buddy goes out on his boat, right? So we have to make sure that we're instilling in our reps that this is the number that it's going to take, but it's the floor, not the ceiling. When you do your pre-call plan, I want to see 15 calls for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's 60 calls in a week. Friday is a little bit of pickup, like I said. I had to go from Boca to Wellington. What did I miss in Boca? I do that on Friday. So I can go ahead and I can pick that up again. It's only achievable to hit those 15 calls if we have a plan. If we don't have a plan, we start to jellyfish. If you jellyfish, where do you go? To the most comfortable referral sources you have. You go have lunch with your friends. You go to a doctor's office that you go to all the time that you're not getting any business from, but they make you feel good. Side note, sales is a very hard job. The salespeople are frontline, getting the heck kicked out of them every day. I tell my sales reps, have your happy offices. Have the places where you can go and have those F1 talks or the fishing talks or the bulk talks. Somewhere to get your head back in the game again where it's not just constant beat, 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 beat. This is going to sound horrible, but as sales mentors, as leaders of your organization, you have to remember this. And I don't mean it as harsh as it sounds. Who saw Peter Pan at some point in their life? Everybody. What happened to Tinkerbell when she thought Peter had a shine for the little Indian girl? She lost all her magic because she doesn't believe. And what did Walt ask everybody in the audience to do? Clap your hands. We believe, Tink, we believe. And she got her fairy dust back and she was able to go away. Salespeople are like that. If their mind isn't in it, if they don't believe they can succeed, if they don't believe that they're supported, they lose all their magic. So they need to have a happy place to go to. So yeah, it's okay to have a happy place, but don't use that as your default to go to whenever you need to. Windshield time. Back to planning my week. South Palm Beach County, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If I do that, now I'm eliminating windshield time. Because all of my accounts I'm seeing on Monday are in this one little quadrant, which are a mile or 2 or 3 apart from each other. Not east-west in Palm Beach County, and certainly not northeast or southwest. Because that's where we lose time. Especially if we're driving between the 9:30 and 11:30 time period, because that's our prime time calling time. Once 12 o'clock comes, half of the world goes to lunch. So we want to make sure that if we are driving, we're driving in that noon time period. Use Waze. Use GPS tools. Use your schedule that you have each rep do and give to you on Monday morning. So when I'm doing fractional sales management for companies, I meet with the sales team on Mondays and Fridays. And we go through, where are you going Monday? What are you doing? What is your plan? What is your plan? On Fridays, I want them to give me that same plan back and let me know how it went and what their next step is. If you start doing this successfully, you have to, at some point, stop planning your weeks. Because I saw Eric today, and I'm going to go revisit him in 2 weeks. That means 2 weeks from now, I already have one person on my plan. I have another person on my plan. So they all just start moving forward. So that work diminishes. One of the other lectures I do, and I've done here at HCAF before, is CRMs and task or tool. We had a conversation about this morning with a friend of mine. Trying to implement a new CRM, trying to implement a new process, and I don't know how it's going to work. Well, what you need to ask yourself, is this a task or is this a tool? Because if your staff sees it as a task, they're not going to do it. If they see it as a tool, they're going to do it. So when I position my pre-call plan, I let them know, yes, on the front end, it's going to be very hard to do this because you're going to have to come up with 60 new calls every week. But once you're 3 months in, those weeks are starting to fill up for you. And now you only have to plan 20 new calls. Task or tool. Understanding the product. Now that's crazy. It's easy to understand the product. It's easy to understand what we do. It's easy to know. We just sell home care services and help patients with ADLs, accident daily living. What's an ADL? Well, think of the first 15 minutes of the day. This is what I teach your reps. What's an ADL? Tell me, what do you do in the first 15 minutes of the day? Wake up, get out of bed, go to the bathroom, get dressed, brush, okay, there you go. That's your ADLs. ADL, ADLs for dummies. That's all you have to remember. And once you see it in simple terms, we don't have to be fancy in our language. Break it down, make it easy for them. We need to learn how to paint a picture. When I said, what do you do the first 15 minutes? Did you see yourself in bed? Did you see yourself getting out of bed? Did you see yourself brushing your teeth? Did you see yourself getting dressed? Yes. I've painted a picture that is easy for you to understand.